Mr. Beast had a quote, and I love Mr. Beast. He's like, well, this is the only time in history that you'll ever be able to make one video and go viral on multiple platforms from the same video. And I know because it's happened to me multiple times. Me and my team, we post around 3,000 videos a month to the short form platforms. And in the last year or so, we've made well over 1,000 million view videos.
Million.
I mean, it's way over that. That's, this is a year and a half ago. We went from 0 clients to now we have 20 clients. We're posting 3,000 videos a month and did a little over $1 million last year. I knew if I get 1 million views, then 100% you're going to see anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Statistically, it just happens. Right. We grew Grant Cardone's TikTok from 0 to 1. Ryan Pineda, he's been with me for a while. We took him from 500,000 over he's at 1.1 million now. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Hey दोस्तों, वेलकम बैक टू DBC. आज मैं आपको जिनसे मिलाने वाला हूँ इंटरनेशनल गेस्ट है. सो ये जो पॉडकास्ट है वो इंग्लिश में होगा. क्या करें, इंग्लिश में ही हो सकता था, उन्हें हिंदी आती नहीं थी रैन मैगिन को. बट ये बंदा काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है. इन्होंने कई सारे बड़े बड़े क्रिएटर्स के सोशल मीडिया पेजेस को हैंडल किया है, उनके वीडियोस बनाए हैं. इनफैक्ट अगर आपको मैं बताऊँ तो पिछले 2 सालों में रैन ने ना 30 से ज़्यादा क्लाइंट्स को ग्रो करने में हेल्प किया है टू मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज़ एंड फॉलोअर्स. इन्होंने 500 से ज़्यादा ऐसे वीडियोस बनाए हैं जो सिर्फ 24 घंटे के अंदर ही मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज़ टच करे हैं, मिलियन के ऊपर व्यूज़ लाए हैं. तो बेसिकली आप बोल सकते हो शॉर्ट वीडियोस में इनकी एक्सपर्टीज़ है. इनके कई सारे बड़े बड़े क्लाइंट्स हैं जैसे कि एलेक्स हरमोजी, ग्रैंड कार्डन. इवन कुछ टाइम के लिए इन्होंने जॉर्डन पीटरसन के सोशल मीडिया पेजेस को भी हैंडल किया था. उनकी बेटी के पेजेस को भी शायद हैंडल करते हैं. बट आप बोल सकते हो बाहर के कई सारे बड़े बड़े क्रिएटर्स के सोशल मीडिया पेजेस को हैंडल करते हैं, उनको वायरल वीडियोस बनाने में हेल्प करते हैं. लोग इन्हें थाउजेंड्स ऑफ डॉलर्स देते हैं इनके कंसल्टेशन के, इनके काम करने के लिए. वो सारी नॉलेज आपको आज फ्री में मिलने वाली है यहाँ पे इस पॉडकास्ट में. इसलिए इस वीडियो को एंड तक जरूर देखना, मज़ा आएगा. और हो सकेगा तो मैं इस वीडियो में ना हिंदी सबटाइटल्स और हिंदी ऑडियो हो सकेगा तो वो भी डलवा दूंगा. ठीक है, अभी के लिए लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द पॉडकास्ट. Today we have Ryan Magin with us. Welcome to DBC System.
Thank you for having me.
You came first time in India?
This first time in India, yeah.
How are you feeling? What's the opinion?
Slightly jet lagged still, but I think pretty good. And I woke up early this morning, got a workout in, and just ate some food, tried Indian food.
Did you like the Indian food?
What I've had at the hotel, they have a buffet here, and it's amazing. But I don't know if I've been told not to eat the street food because I might get my stomach jacked up. So I don't know, but some of that shit smells really good.
It's a little bit different, In the States, I think so there are not lot of spices used.
Yes. I mean, there's definitely a lot more spices than I'm used to, but everything I've had here at the hotel has been amazing. So I don't know. I don't want to do the street food until after I speak, because then if my stomach gets messed up.
So, yes, tomorrow we have our event, and I think tomorrow we will speak about.
Yes, tomorrow.
And what are the topics you will be speaking about tomorrow?
I'm going to be teaching, how to go viral on short form. Specifically, TikTok Reels, YouTube Shorts. Obviously, I'm in India, so TikTok isn't really the focus. But me and my team, and we currently we post around 3,000 videos a month to the short form platforms, and in the last year or so, we've made well over 1,000 million view videos.
Million.
It's way over that. That's just on TikTok. I don't really count the other ones, as far as Reels and Shorts, but I would venture to say it's equal across all 3 platforms. But I have a team of 15, 11 of which are video editors. I have researchers that, and we just come up with ideas and topics, and we work with a lot of cool clients, and they kind of let us, film with them, and we just...
Can you share who are your clients?
So some of the bigger ones, we grew Grant Cardone's TikTok from 0 to 1.5 million now. Aaron Marino, I am Alpha.
From the start?
Yeah, from both, most of the clients I'm working with, the ones that we took to 1 million, at Cardone, we started, his account had like 10,000 followers. We took it all the way to I think 1.2 million in a year. We also worked with Alice and Layla Hermosi. We just recently stopped working with them on the 1st of this year. They went all in-house with their team. We took Alex's account specifically for TikTok from 0 to almost 600,000. Layla's was 0 to over 100,000. We also worked with I am Aaron Lino, I am Alpha. We took his from 0 to almost to over 1 million. We do Beard Brand. We took him from 0 to 600K. A time we were working with Jordan Peterson. We grew him a couple 100,000 followers, and we were working with him. He's doing really awesome now, though. We currently still work with Michaela, his daughter. She's crushing. A lot of people come to us now, and we kind of, grew them. Ryan Pineda, he's been with me for a while. We took him from 500,000 he's at 1.1 million now. It's been been a journey.
So सीन थोड़ा सा चेंज कर लिया हमने, एक नए लोकेशन पे आ गए, ज़्यादा डिस्टर्बेंस ना हो, अच्छे से ताकि हम रैन भाई से बात कर सके. So रैन भाई, I wanted to know your story. How did you start?
Yeah, so when I started, I've been on TikTok. I mean, most of what I'm going to reference is obviously TikTok. I know in India it's not, rest in peace, TikTok. I mean, so I relate everything to TikTok, but obviously I consider TikTok the same as Reels, Shorts, Facebook Reels, all the other ones. Everyone just kind of copied TikTok. So, But I got started on TikTok prior to 2 years ago. I had two different businesses online. First one was I used to be a professional BMX racer. My dad was a videographer, so he kind of taught me how to edit videos to a degree and film. And I created a BMX training DVD to help BMX to get faster and basically to self-fund my professional BMX racing career. Unfortunately, I was in that weird spot where I was too good to be an amateur, but not good enough to be a good professional. So I just kind of sold DVDs out of my backpack, started making videos. But what happened was, the more videos I made, and this is before YouTube, I was posting them to something called Vidler, which was like a platform before YouTube was even a thing yet. I mean, YouTube was just coming on. Posted a lot of videos, kind of burned myself out, kind of one day said, screw it, I'm done. Can't do this anymore. I need to go get a job. And I basically just stopped riding my bike, stopped selling my DVD. But what I did from that point forward was I taught myself how to make videos. And then that rolled into, I started doing some affiliate marketing stuff. I actually figured out some really black hat Google dark things to make money on the internet that no longer work. And I was able to make a sizable income very quickly doing that. And then Google Panda update happened, which was like an old SEO algorithm update. Kind of wiped out all my sites. An example of what I used to do is I used to take celebrities. For example, we had a hit TV show called Jersey Shore. One of the lead characters in that was this guy, Mike the Situation Sorrentino. He happened to have abs. So before the Jersey Shore kind of got popular, I made a bunch of websites relating to Mike the Situation's abs. And I put affiliate links all over them, and I ranked them in Google. And when Jersey Shore would air every week, I would make commissions because people would be searching how to work out like him. And I did that. I went on to do that for about 500 different sites. Made a very good living doing that for about 6 months. And then Google kind of shut all that down. And then I moved into YouTube, went back to my video making skills. And I started a men's style and fashion channel, teaching guys how to dress better to get laid. Because at the time, nobody was doing that. It was new. It was new. Like now everybody kind of does. A lot of people are doing it. Yeah. The big guys on the scene there was Aaron Marino. I'm Alpha M.
I know them.
Yeah.
He came on Shark Tank also, right?
Yeah, he's actually a good friend of mine. He's not one of my TikTok clients. But he was like kind of doing it. Like he was talking about meeting women, and I was like, you know what? Somebody needs to just like be rated R, and that's me. So I achieved some decent success pretty quickly with YouTube. I got up to like 30,000 subs. Signed to actually Aaron's agency, and I was starting to get brand deals, starting to do really good. And then YouTube, for me, like I kind of got censored a little bit because I was vulgar, my language, and they were really censoring that back, it's just like 6-7 years ago, back when I was doing that. And at the time, I also got engaged and had a daughter. So I was like, I don't really want to be doing this anymore. I don't want to be teaching guys how to get laid when I'm like obviously engaged and have a daughter. So I was like, not that I'm ashamed of that at all. It's all still on the internet. But I was like, I want to do something more. So I kind of went to Instagram, and similar to, I started making videos again. I started doing like little mini vlogs, if you will. And those kind of turned into the clients that used to pay me to do fashion videos. Like the brand deals I used to get were like reaching out to me, hey, we like your style of video. Can you come do ads for us? So I kind of created this little video agency doing ad campaigns for brands, and then I got some retainer clients doing like the Gary Vee style with the progress bars and the titles. That we're talking 3 years ago, so that was like what was really popular back then on IG. Hired one employee, and I started this little smaller agency. I think it got to where it was doing like between $6,000 to $8,000 a month, maybe 10. It was doing pretty well. It was starting to ramp up, and then pandemic happened. All my clients canceled, and I started the pandemic. I refunded out a bunch of clients.
But that time was good for online, right? Everyone was at home watching.
Yeah, but most of the clients they weren't that great of clients. They like tightened up their budgets and they were just like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. So it literally like I ended up having to refund out about $20,000. So I started the pandemic at my house with like a negative bank account and just kind of depressed because I didn't really know what to do. And my daughter, she was 3 at the time. We had or 4 at the time, I think. Yeah, 4 at the time. She was staying home from school. So like I was watching her because I was like, you know, the entrepreneur. My fiance was going to work because she was a nurse. For a while there, I was like, I didn't really know what to do. And I was like, you know, I always resort to creating when I get in like those, I don't want to say it's depression, but it's like just where you like, I have to make something. So, and I was like, I need to make money. So, and I couldn't go out to make money. I couldn't go like get clients. I couldn't do anything. So all I ended up doing was like, you know, it's like everybody's kind of messing around with this TikTok thing. Like, let me try it. Because nobody was educating back then. As you know, like this was like, I mean, height of lockdown, it was just dances and like all the weird stuff. Lip sync videos, pranks, dances. And I said, you know, and I knew how to make videos about making videos. So, and I knew if I went to YouTube, I mean, you know, that's a competitive niche. And I'm like, it's going to be a year before I can even remotely break through and maybe see some sort of success. And I was like, you know what, let me try this TikTok thing. So I committed to like, I remember I committed to 90 days. And I was like, I'm just going to do a video a day, every day for 90 days. And I'm going to see what happens.
It's a challenge you took.
Yeah, I like forced constraints. So I'm like, and that's why I'm really drawn to short form because I feel like you have a small amount of time to get a point across. And the person who does that better gets more views.
Obviously, like you're adding value by taking less time, which is very valuable.
Yeah. So I just, and it was like, you know, and it was really, I mean, all these videos, I mean, I know we're in India, you can't really see my profile, but like some of the first videos I can say were very bad. And I just kept making them. And I think I want to say like 10, 15 videos in, I made a video about a ring light. And it ended up getting like 500,000 views. And I was like, that was like all the validation I needed to go, okay, I'm on to something. I'm early, let's keep going. And instead of just only focusing on my own account, I went to my friends and I said, yo, let me grow you a TikTok. And this is, nobody cared about TikTok. I mean, you probably remember this. Like everybody was just like, you know, it wasn't banned in India yet. Like this is before the ban in India. And I was like, wow, let me, you know, I said, I know my friends are going to want this. Like, cause I was friends with a lot of YouTubers because of the fashion stuff. You know, I built out my network. So I started a TikTok agency where like I would film, I would tell people what to film. I would take their content, I would chop it up, I would make it into short form. And that was, I want to say right around July of 2020. So a little over a year and a half ago at this point. And it just, I mean, it was like a rocket. Like I started and like, I could only get clients for like $500 a month. I was like, that's all anybody would pay for TikTok. Cause there was also no reels and there was no shorts yet. It was just TikTok. And I was like struggling cause like I was still doing as a side hustle, I used to sell through Instagram direct messages. Yeah. Like DM closing.
How does that work?
Like if you have a big following and you have a product to sell, like I would just like, I worked, with a friend of mine, his name's Elliot Hulse. He has a big following. I did his Facebook. So he would just make a post saying, you know, if you're interested in learning this, DM me the word king and I'll reach out to you. So like it was me in the DMs closing them on $1,000 product and I would make a $200 commission off every one that I sold. So
You have also worked on in sales, right?
yeah,
A lot of years.
yeah, prior to like me being on the internet, I was a door and window salesman at Lowe's Home Improvement, which is like Home Depot. I don't know if you guys have those over here. Just a home improvement store, like a chain retail store. But yeah, so I was good at sales. I've always been good at sales. And I was making really good money selling through the DMs. So then I hired my first employee. His name's Luis. And when the agency started going, and then so I just started paying Luis out of what I was making doing the commissions until I had actual paying clients for the TikTok agency. And the first client I got, her name was Adley Stump. She's a massive Facebook creator. She does like over 1 billion views a month. Or something. It's something crazy. I want to say 100 million views a month on Facebook. Doing the pranks and skits. So I started chopping her content up. We grew her account to 1 million in 6 months on TikTok. And then by this time now, Reels was starting, Shorts were starting. And then I started with the next big client that kind of came was Grant Cardone. His team wanted to be early to TikTok, and I was at the time the only person who was like a full service agency doing it. So we got Grant Cardone. We then proceeded to take his account from 0 to 1.2 million in the first year. Shortly after that was Ryan Pineda. Took him. He had already had a big following because he was actively making. He had about 500,000. We started working with him. Took him to $1 million in around 6-7 months. And then was Alex and Layla Hermosi. We worked with them for a while. We took Alex from like 0 to almost 600,000 on his TikTok. Layla 0 to 100. We recently stopped working with them because now they have everything in house. But yeah, it was like a rocket. We went from, this is a year and a half ago. We went from 0 clients to now we have 20 clients. We're posting 3,000 videos a month and did a little over $1 million last year.
Such an inspiring increase.
Yeah. So that's how
you have done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
How did that DM sales thing work? Was it hard? How did you close to people on DM?
Yeah. So, to me, DM, like if you have a following on Instagram, Facebook, it doesn't really work on TikTok. So, not that you would have that out here, but like Instagram and Facebook, yeah, you literally just make a post. So I know you sell a community. You sell like for your book club, right? Yeah. So you would make an Instagram story saying, "Hey, if you're interested in watching books instead of reading them, DM me the word watch books.
Video book.
Yeah, video book. DM me the word video book, and I'll send you some information. And that could be like, I'm sure you have a page that sells it correctly. Yeah, so somebody reaches out, like, they just DM you, video book. And then you, or this could be somebody from your team, is on the other side. And then they go, hey, thanks for reaching out. If you're interested, here's a little bit more information about video books. And then they just send them the link.
Okay.
But there's something about that interpersonal communication. Instead of just clicking a link and going, and then you could come back in and say, set a timer for like, if you're a good salesman, like you send the link and then you just wait a little bit.
Okay.
And then you go, hey, do you have any questions about what you saw? Right. Send.
Okay.
And they'll be like, yeah, actually I was wondering about this. Oh, let me answer that for you. Bip, 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 send, bip, 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 send.
Okay.
Oh, have you ready to join? Yeah. Okay, here's the payment link.
Okay.
It's just taking the page that you're selling and kind of just doing it more personal communication,
Right.
which is more work. Like it's not as easy. It's not as automated.
Okay.
But I would do that all day long. I would have hundreds of conversations a day when I was doing that for Elliot. And we were selling $1,000 product. And yeah, my biggest month I made $7,000 in commissions, which means that I generated almost $100,000 in revenue through the DMs.
That's awesome.
I personally, I enjoy DM closing. I think because it is personal. You can't really automate it. Like people have tried, but you can't. Like you have little conversations. Like you could answer, hey, shoot me a message if you hate reading books and why. And then somebody will tell you, here's why I hate reading books. And then you can just be there going, man, I wonder, have you ever thought about, like, what if books were on video? Do you think you would watch a book being read to you? Do you like audiobooks? Like, do you like this? Oh, you sound like a good fit. You might like this. And you send them a link. So you're just having conversations, and it makes the sales process much easier across the board for anybody that's, you do have to have a consistent lead flow for it to work. So like somebody like yourself would probably thrive with it just because I'm assuming you're constantly getting new subscribers. All your accounts are always growing.
Right.
The problem is like when somebody starts, like even me, like my Instagram's at like, almost, I think it's like 85,000 right now. Like I probably have a few months, and then I would have, unless I was actively growing, I would run out of, like, it's like you send the first one, DM me the word this, you might get like 300 messages. Right. Then you do it again in a week, then you might get 175, then you might get, so unless you have a massive influx of new leads, that's the only downfall to that. And also you got to constantly keep changing it because you don't want to batter your audience with like your DM sales. But we found that, for a sales perspective platform, like Instagram, people just like to be sold on Instagram. Okay. Like they don't like to be sold on YouTube, and they don't like to be sold on TikTok. Okay. But Instagram, like they like that shit. So, but yeah, that's DM closing. And there's really not scripts. It's just conversations. Like
that's why it works also, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's why. There are like, I had it down like, where I had like a script that was like, I had a lot of responses I would copy and paste, but it would get to a point where like I'd have to ask them a question and I would have to have a person
improvise according to the needs.
Yeah. I would never had it where I can send, sale.
Totally automation.
Yeah, it was like send. Oh,
About it.
answer question, link, send. It was always.
You always use common sense and what he needs, what might trigger him to buy, right?
Yeah, like, basic psychology, basic sales. Like, I would always look for, and the questions you ask them are also indicative of like the responses you're going to get. So with you being like, asking the question, do you think you would find it more interesting if you watched a book being read than if you just actually read it yourself? Then if they said yes, then you'd be like, ding, okay, that's what I sell. So you can kind of like go to work selling that person. So, I enjoy it. It's if I wasn't DM closing, I don't think I would have been able to start my agency, because at first we were doing multiple accounts and we weren't getting paid for them. 3 to be specific. It was an athlete account, which is Overtime Athletes, which is my friend Chris.
Okay.
And then Elliot Hulse. And the reason I wasn't getting paid was that one, they were both close friends of mine.
Okay.
And they were my case studies. I didn't, like, prior to them, like, and then Adley Stump, who was my first paid client, she was only paying me $750 a month.
Okay.
So like I didn't have enough like money. So like if I wasn't DM closing, I was paying, it got up to where I was still DM closing until we had like 5 clients. I think the business was generating around $5,000 a month. And I had hired 2 people already, like 2 video editors, and I was paying them from my DM closing money.
Okay.
Like to fund the agency getting started.
So it helped to grow your business.
Yeah, much faster. If I would have had, if that was not there, I would have had to make some.
So people should they should also do DM sales if they.
Yeah, I mean, you can do them from anywhere, and if you're good at it, like, it is. There are good and bad people, and you'll know really quickly if you're good or bad. But I just found that I was very good at it, and at one point I even had it where I had like 3 or 4 different clients. Like, and it was quite lucrative for, I only wanted to do it for a short period of time. I was like, this isn't something I want to do forever, but I still have friends that, they kill it with DM closing.
Awesome. Now focusing back to Reels, I think you are a master in that. How should we create a viral? You specifically target on making Reels. We were talking and you said that we make viral content. I want to make content that reaches million, that threshold.
Yeah.
Can you shine light on that?
Yeah. So when it comes to, a lot of people want to say, make niche content, like I'm an expert in this. I make videos about this. And yes, that's a strategy, but you're never going to get the massive reach. And for the people that were hiring me and what I charge now to do what we do is significantly high. Like I'm like the Ferrari of short form content agencies, but the only reason I can charge a lot is because we get results. And when I say get results, for me, it's like, how do I quantify what a result is on short form content? Well, if you were hiring me, you're hiring me to get you views. So it's like, that's it. There is no, I'm not trying to be like, I'm going to make you more money. I know you'll make more money if you get more views, but the direct ROI for you hiring me is, will my views go up?
Right.
So I take that seriously, and I've kind of ingrained that into my team, and we go for the 1 million view videos. And the reason we do that is because on, again, basing off TikTok, because this is like, a lot of my data is skewed because it comes from the TikTok land. I knew if I get 1 million views, then 100% you're going to see anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Statistically, it just happens. Right. Sometimes it skews lower, but like for the most part, if every month, if you were paying me money and you got 1 million views and you gained 10,000 followers, you'd probably keep paying me.
Right.
So I knew that the more 1 million view videos we get, the faster the accounts are going to grow. Right. And it didn't matter if the views were coming from the culmination of like 30 videos or just on one video. But in my experience, the accounts, each time you get 1 million view video, it's like your account authority goes up. And then all your videos after that tend to perform a little bit better. Right. Kind of like on YouTube, the more videos you post, YouTube just kind of gives you more love. And that's how it is with the short form. But the short form is the 1 million views. And also what people don't realize happens when, like, if you were to make a video of like, the top 5 business books and it gets 1 million views. Okay. Well, for that video on Reels to get 1 million views, a few things have to happen. One, people have to watch it to the end. Like, you understand watch time because you're a YouTuber. the only reason it got 1 million views is because at least 50% of those people watched that video all the way to the end. So now the algorithms, once that happens, the algorithms go to work. And this is where like, it is more predictable on TikTok than it is IG, but based on that same kind of knowledge. So let's say 500,000 people watched your 5 business book video all the way to the end. You know, you're like, okay, cool. Now of those 500,000 people, let's say you have another video about, you know, relationships. Of those 500,000 people, probably 100,000 of those have also have engaged with a relationship style video. So now Instagram's going to go, oh, they liked his video about books. Let's send them those relationship with. So now all your other content starts getting like rationed out and portioned out to people in that initial pool. But the only reason you would have had that is because those 500,000 people watched the video to the end. You know, yes, you can do that slower by getting like, let's say you get a bunch of 20,000 videos, but of 20,000, only, you know, let's say what, 5,000 watch that to the end. Well, you get 1 million, you get a much larger pool of people to share your content. So when that starts happening again, the Instagram or shorts or, you know, TikTok, the algorithm goes, oh, people really like this person's content. Let's show it some more. So it's like a giant, it's like all the, you know, rising tides raise all ships. So the more that happens, the more predictable it gets to see the overall accounts start to grow. So yeah, that's viral.
So how can we make content viral? If a person is starting, he wants to make reels, TikToks, or any short form content, what are your strategies and things you have learned over the years?
Yeah, so, and this is different because if you would ask me like 3 years ago, I'd be like, start a niche channel, like talk about your niche. But short form and the algorithm's ability to just interrupt everybody in the world with certain types of content has kind of changed the way people, like, I think changed the way people consume content. What I mean by that is they're not consuming content based on their oh, I need to learn about video editing today. They log into their app and the app just starts showing them video editing videos. So when you're making content or when you're trying to make content, if you only stuck to like video editing videos, you would only get shown to those people. You would never break through that. So what I tell people to do and my clients, and it's what I do on my own personal account and on TikTok, I have almost 200,000. On IG, I've grown just last year from 10K to almost 100. So it's like, it works is I focus on content based around people's interests. So your For You page or your Explore page looks different than mine, different than the Camera Guy 1 or Camera Guy 2. Everybody's Instagram is different, but we all share. So everybody in this room obviously shares cameras as an interest. So if I make a camera video, the likelihood that everybody in this room sees it is high. If I make a video editing video, people in this room will see it, but nobody outside of this room will see it. So now I go, okay, well, how do I reach other people? Well, if I make a relationship video about how I got dumped when I was 17 and how I got over it, yes, that has nothing to do with making videos, but I have an expertise in it because I've been dumped before and I can help somebody who's been through it. I make that video gets 1 million views because relationships is everywhere. Like a finance video, like if I talk about like how to budget or how I budgeted and bought my first camera, like that's a finance related video. Everybody in the world has a wallet. So you have to kind of broaden out your topics to then get that reach, but also don't forget about doing the videos of stuff you actually know and care about. And not saying, I don't care about making, the broad videos, but, yes, I think people should start making videos just to get views because it's the only way you can, bust through and get your other stuff shown. Like, I'm sure you've seen it on your YouTube. Like you need those breakthrough videos to get all of your other content seen.
Exactly. It helps to grow other YouTube videos also in my channel. So I completely understand.
And I call it, I'm going to be talking about it obviously in my presentation tomorrow, but are you familiar with the Hemingway app for writing? No. I think it's more popular in America. But the Hemingway app is like, let's say you write like a blog post. You can input it into the Hemingway app and it'll tell you what level you're reading at. Okay. And you want to, like they say statistically, you want your writing to be at a second grade level so more people understand it.
Right.
Well, which makes perfect sense. Simple writing gets understood, gets digested, gets read. But with video, how do you talk at a second grade level when you're not at a second grade level? Well, so somebody like you, if we start talking about videos and algorithm and watch time, it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. But But let's say we were both fans of, cricket, which is a sport popular here in India, then we probably share that common ground. So when I talk to somebody, I don't know much about cricket, but like, let's hypothetically say that I did. When we talk about cricket, we're not talking from a professional cricket level. We're talking from an average person who likes cricket. So our speech patterns are a lot more digestible. So we're talking at a second grade level. The problem with most people today and why they don't get views is they know a lot about certain subjects and they talk up here
using jargon
when everyone is down here.
There's a concept known as curse of knowledge,
What is it?
Curse of knowledge.
Curse of knowledge, yeah.
Because most of the time the people who are really high on that field, they think that it's very common using jargons like CTR, call, click through it, hooks. We know we know this word. That's why we think everyone might know it. But the thing is, not everyone knows what we.
Not everybody, and you have to assume. I hate being derogatory towards the audience, but I just look at when I make a video. If it doesn't get views, then I didn't make it stupid enough to where people understood it. It's like I want to dumb down my verbiage and how I talk so much that it gets mass appeal.
This is a very powerful principle. It is written in so many books, even in businesses. Make your business statement as simple as possible. Even a small kid should understand what your business is all about in a line.
Yep. And we talk about like if you're explaining it to your daughter or son, that's how you should be talking on a video. You're not talking to your colleagues. You're not talking to people that are doing what you're doing. You're talking to people who have no idea. And that's why I like talking about people's interests. And I was, explaining this to Raul. It's when you look at an audience, like 5,000 people are here tomorrow for this conference. When you're looking at the audience, if you want to know what content to make for them, it's not going to be about like a funnel to get more leads. It's going to be like, there's all the people in the front row that bought the diamond tickets. They paid like 3,000 US or whatever, I think 100,000 rupees, whatever that equates to. They paid a lot of money to sit in the front. Those like 25 people, like all have commonalities. Maybe they're all wearing suits. Maybe they like traditional Indian dress. Maybe they like using American Express. Maybe they like using, riding in, Mercedes Benz. Maybe they all have, you have to find people's interests and commonalities and start making content around that to reach all those pockets of people. Instead of just saying like, here's how you make a website that makes money.
Right.
Because now you're only reaching that small
people who know it.
And we call it like the HEM framework, which is like short for Hemingway, which is, when you're making videos, it's like hobbies and interests is your H. So
focus on that.
Yeah, focus on that. And based on this is like, I'm going to go deep on this tomorrow, but like based on 30 videos a month, like most people should be posting once a day, especially on short content. That's totally different for like long form YouTube, but this is just shorts, reels, TikToks. Like 30 videos a month should be your minimum. So you have 30 videos. So you think about like a slice of pizza. Your top right here is going to be your hobbies and interests. So like for myself, it's like CrossFit. I like Porsches. I like, video editing. I like cameras. Like you just start writing about, these are all my hobbies and interests. 20 videos a month should be based around your hobbies and interests. Then you have like your next little block here, which is like, so think about the pizza, you got bit. So the middle block, the E is expertise. This is, make videos about things that you know more than the average consumer about. So like I used to be a professional BMX racer. So I can talk to professional athletes. I have experience in that. Am I a professional athlete today? No. Will I ever be a professional athlete again? Who knows, but probably not. Like I make videos now, so you're going to want to make 5 videos a month about your expertise. And a way to think about this is like hobbies and interests is things that you do for fun, you'll never be paid for. Expertise is things that you have been paid for at some point in your life. And then you have that real small bottom piece. That's your mastery. It's just like the Robert Greene book. That's like your 10,000 hours. Like you're a master at growing YouTube channels. You have a couple of them, all of them have plaques, you're kicking out. That is your mastery. You need 5 videos a month about your mastery. So now you have 25 and 5, like the pizza. Now what's going to happen, just like I explained, the hobbies and interests, those videos are going to get a shit ton of views. Those are going to be your viral videos, 1 million views plus. Yeah, that's a framework that we made. That's what we teach our clients, and that's how we grow.
Sorry, I'm interrupting, but how to create good hooks? Your experience like.
Yeah, so hooks are like emails. Like TikToks and shorts, like I urge people like sign up for marketing email lists.
Okay.
And like what emails get opened? Like when you get like, if you get 100 emails a day, let's say you open like 4. Why'd you open those 4? What was the title? Like, then like look at magazine. I know magazines aren't really a thing, but in America we have magazines at the counters. Like I read those. Like same thing with ads. Like hooks are just, you know, it's attention. How do I grab attention? How do I say something in a way that I know is going to grab attention? So it's really hard to train somebody on like how to make good hooks. It's just, but I compare it to emails. Like what emails do I open and what was that subject line?
So we were talking about hooks.
Yeah.
You said we can start looking at emails, magazines, newspaper, or whatever things which catches your attention. Because the thing is, about hooks, I have learned the purple cow strategy. You know, purple cow.
What is it?
Purple cow. Seth Godin. There is an amazing book is there. Purple cow strategy. Matlab, if we are in a village, there are a lot of black cows, white, brown cows. Sometimes we'll see, and after a certain amount of time, we'll not see them because it's common.
Yep.
But suddenly, if a purple cow comes, then it will grab our attention.
Like makes your eyes go right to that. Yep.
So we want that kind of things in hooks, right? And we can't like write it down or these things will only work, because then again it will not be a purple cow. You have to do something different. That's kind of thing. Well, I would like to ask you, like, from how many years you are doing content creation?
So like I said, I mean, I started making videos with like what they call a flip cam, which is like this little old school camera that like they don't even sell it anymore. Like, and that was like 10 years ago. But what really turned me on to content creation when I was doing the BMX wasn't that I was making the videos. It was that like I thought I was making videos to, you know, to like attract sponsors and do all this. And I was selling a BMX training DVD. But what happened is the more videos I made, I would go to the bike races and I would have like all the crowd support. And I was not the best BMX racer by any means. Like I was able to make the finals, but like the finals had 8 people, like I'd be getting like 5th. But when they would announce my name and we'd be going, I get like all the crowd, because what happened was I was the only pro that was making videos to help the kids, because it wasn't common back then. And what I saw was that it wasn't the kids that were coming up to me, it was the parents.
Okay.
So it was like the people that had the money to spend were coming up to me. And then that got me more sponsors, because the sponsors wanted the parents.
Right.
So I just learned, like, if you want to reach people, like, I was just sharing like the behind the scenes. Like, here's how I made like a sandbag to do squats with, because I didn't have money to buy a barbell set. And the parents would go make the sandbag set. You know, so it was like, I just learned about like influence very early on. And then I always kind of had, you know, a more of a minimalistic approach to like videos. And I, you know, even now, like my TikToks and they're very simple in nature. You know, I was the guy that created the subtitles. Like when we started working with Alex Hermosi and Cardone, the subtitles took off. But like, I was always inspired heavily by Casey Neistat. And his style of videos, and then like Emma Chamberlain, I don't know if you, she's like a vlogger. Like, I just like that raw feel of videos, and like that just kind of always, and part of it came because I was broke and I didn't have much money and I couldn't do anything. It's like I would buy a camera and be like, I can't afford anything else, you know? So I just did that for years, and I taught myself lighting, because like I didn't have enough to buy lights, so like I would have to use natural lighting to make things work. So like, you know, just like I still don't know how to work a camera on manual. I can do it with auto, but I can control the lighting, you know, with how, like, I'd much rather like control the lighting in the set than mess with the camera. I just turn the camera on auto, you know?
I can relate to it. Right?
Yeah. So, you know, but I just always came back to, you know, whatever I needed to make money, I made videos.
Okay.
And somehow I would make a video that would make me money. Whether it be somebody watching a video, somebody buying something. And now it's like, unfortunate, like my videos now, like people ask me like, what do I sell like on my account? I was like, I have like nothing to sell. Like, I have an agency if you want to work with me. We're really expensive, and we work with like some of the premier influencers, but like everything else is free. It's just like my accounts are my business card. If I'm not getting views, then why would somebody else hire me? And I think, I mean, you probably work with a lot of videographers and editors, and there's a lot of people that say they are content experts, and I'm like, I don't believe you. Show me your results. Like if you look at my Instagram right now, when we're filming this interview, there's a video with 700,000 views of me standing in front of a Lamborghini interviewing a guy. Right. On my TikTok, there's like 5 more. Like there's always million view videos happening on my account. So like I just always believe in like practicing what I preach.
Man, it's awesome. That is the thing matters. Results matter. And most of the people just say they don't do it. And I completely agree with you. Most of people, my students, I teach them to become content creator. I teach my students that there are 2 things. If you master them, you can make a lot of money. One is business. You should have a business model, something. And one is content creation. From content creation, you can attract a lot of audience. And then from that, you can convert them to your paying customers. And it is like a pipeline of money you can create out of it. Some business lesson, if any experience that you had related to business, some advice, maybe a mistake you did that cost you a lot of money or something like that.
I mean, now my problems are now it's more hiring issues. Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would be in that position now. Like accounting and hiring are like my 2 biggest problems now. But when it comes to early on, specifically with content, I think the biggest mistake I made, and that I think most people make, is they start making content and they put the pressure on themselves that they have to make money from this content. And they need to do it by like a certain time frame, or they have to do it as fast as possible. Right, exactly. So, and then if you come at content like that, and I mean, even I did it when I started TikTok, like I was broke. I'm like, but I knew like, I'm not going to make money from this for a while, but this is going to, somehow an avenue will open up for me to make money. Right. So I think a lot of people make the mistake early on where they quit their job really quickly, or they stop doing what they're doing and they're like, I'm a YouTuber now. And it's like, bro, you're not going to make money for like a year. Like you should have your 9 to 5 or like whatever, and then do this on the side. And I think that that's like frowned upon now, like because of the hustle culture that we live in. And I don't know how, I see a lot of different things obviously in America than you see here in India, but like, it's so polarizing, like quit your job and travel the world and make videos. And it's like, yeah, none of those people make money. Like they either have like a trust fund, or like their parents are paying for everything, or, the people I know that make content to make money are people like yourself. That's all we do is make content. Like it is a full-time job. It is no joke. It's more than a full-time job. You have to travel to get content. Like you're here speaking at an event, we're filming, it's like late at night right now, we're filming a podcast because we got to make content. Like I flew to Las Vegas to film that Lamborghini video, spent a bunch of money, but I got 1 million views. So it's like,
it was worth it.
It was totally worth it. So I think that a huge mistake is people put this unnecessary pressure on themselves to make money from every video they put out. And that will unknowingly sabotage them in the long run, because if you're like, I believe in like energy when you create. So it's like, you have to create every day, but it's like, if you're creating from a place of abundance, you're going to make better videos.
That's a very powerful lesson.
So it's like, but when you're starting a video from a place of scarcity, I have to make money from this. Like, that's why people don't break through. Like, it wasn't until even on my TikTok and my stuff, I made it a goal with my TikTok. I was like, I am not going to focus on anything else until I get 100,000 followers on TikTok. And the byproduct of me getting 100,000 followers on TikTok, and for the, your audience, I have almost 200,000 now. My Instagram account started growing very fast once I hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. And now my YouTube Shorts channel is growing. It's like stick in one lane, one avenue, and get really good at it. That's why I think people should focus on short, because regardless of whether you live in America or not, you have Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, like Twitter's making one, Pinterest has one. I mean, you can make one video and you're everywhere.
You can make one video and you can post it on every different channel. Like
that's what we do.
I've seen some Gary Vaynerchuk videos, and he says like every different platform is different, and you should create different videos for different platforms. Do you think it's true, and your experience about it?
I mean, yes and no. Like when you're starting out, just make one good video and post it everywhere. Because I mean, Mr. Beast had a quote, and I love Mr. Beast. He's like, well, this is the only time in history that you'll ever be able to make one video and go viral on multiple platforms from the same video. And I know because it's happened to me multiple times. Like, it's not always at the same time, but it's happened. And yes, do I think that as you kind of, and again, this goes back to sticking with one platform. Like, I know a certain intro is going to do better on TikTok than it might do on YouTube Shorts, because I've made a lot of videos. Is that worthwhile enough for me to create an entirely different video for YouTube? Right now, no. In the future, maybe. But all my clients, all those videos we post, it's like we post the same video on all the platforms.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we get a video, this is like the fun. So if a video does well, like on one of the platforms, then you can go, okay, this probably should have done well on all the platforms if it did well on one. So maybe let's refilm an intro and try it again on YouTube.
So mostly you focus on intros.
Intros, yes. Intros are the most
important thing. We should also focus on.
Well, it comes down to the video topic first. Like the video topic, if nobody cares about the topic, it's never going to get views, even with the best intro. Right. So it's like, what are your main, and this is where it goes back to like the HEM framework. Like
interest and hobby.
Yeah, like make videos that people want to consume. And then it's like, okay, well now that they want to consume them, how do we break through? It's like, well then it's the first 3 seconds. And it's like what you say in the first, but it's not just the first 3 seconds. Like that is what gets people to stop. But then there's also like the second part, which is like 3 to 7 seconds, which is like that transition. It's like, did that make sense? Because like once you get somebody like 10 seconds into a video, they're probably going to keep watching. Okay. I mean, for the most, unless it's like a 3-minute video, then you still have to worry about that. But like, the intro and then like that first supporting statement after the intro should be really, really strong on every video. That's where we kind of, like I tell my editors that work for my team, spend 80% of your time on the first 5 seconds.
Completely true.
Like, you can get away, like that's where we post the most images, the subtitles are crisper, like we're rearranging the clips to make it, flow better. But like, yes, the whole clip should flow really good, but like that first like 10 seconds of every video, like, 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how long the video is. If it's a short video, the first 5 seconds. If it's a 1-minute video, the first 10. You got to kind of, but then after that, you still care about the video, obviously, but it's like,
give you 80% at least.
80% of your effort.
Start at 20%, 80-20 principle, you can say.
Yep, 80-20, yeah. I'm big on the 80-20 principle. Like 80% of your results are going to come from that intro.
20% of the starting video. True,
So.
that's awesome. There are so many things we can learn from him. I think, any last message do you want to give to our viewers? Any last, your suggestion, anything?
I mean, just make a video every day. Like, and I know people get caught up now because obviously the subtitle style and like the style of video that me and my team have popularized because of our clients, they think that the subtitles and all that is what actually gets the results. And you being a video creator, that that's not what gets results.
No.
What gets results and where the future is going when it comes to short form, it's speech patterns. It's being mindful of what you're saying, how you're saying it, and what you're talking about. Like, is it a good topic? Do people care? Am I speaking it in a way that gets understood? Like, am I saying it with enough conviction where people actually care too? Like that's like all these things, but it's erasing all the editing. You should be able to put a camera in front of you or take out your phone and say a video and have the ability to get that video get 1 million views without any fancy editing. The editing, back to the 80-20 principle, the editing is the 20%.
Right.
80% of the success of a video is how you say it. Like
how you say that part.
How you say it. Are you polarizing? Are you, do you have charisma? Like people should spend more time learning how to talk and talking better and speaking and, being more concise and punchy and convicted. All that matters far more than whatever the hell you're going to do.
Especially in shorts, right? Because we have a very small amount of time to say and grab attention and hook them.
Well, I use the example as like, let's say, do you like avocados? It's like, I fucking love avocados. They're the best fruit ever or vegetable ever. It's like, you can't be like, well, I eat, or I eat them every once in a while. Or it's like, I fucking hate avocados. I can't believe you would ever eat those.
Right. There should be energy. There should be passion.
You can't be in the middle anymore. Right. You got to be on one side. Love or hate. And we're seeing that popularize even more at a faster pace with like politics and everything being posted, like Andrew Tate, like all these people, like in America, Trump, like it's division. Like whether people want to believe it or not, like you got to divide. You got to have that opinion.
Completely agree. Most of the people think in binary, 1 or 0, black and white.
Yep.
Yeah, the truth is in the middle, but the thing is, views are at the extremes. Right.
You got to be on the extremes. Yeah. But don't be on the extremes if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about, right. So don't talk about things you don't know.
At least and things you believe in. You can go extreme in that, but not too extreme, obviously.
Yeah, but I just found that when you, like, to say when you're operating in the extremes, you generally have very strong opinions.
Strong opinions.
And those strong opinions are what are going to gravitate people to you, but unfortunately, they're also going to repel people as well.
They can hurt you sometimes.
And I mean, that's a whole other side of the internet that, like, you know, dealing with the hate and like, because like that's something that like I've experienced a lot. It's like, because I'm very divisive with how I talk, and like, you know, I get a lot of hate, like, and so do some of my clients.
How do you deal with it?
I don't read them.
You don't read them.
I try.
Just avoid it, huh?
I try to avoid it, but I mean, you can't though. Like, you know, like you can't, no matter how hard you try.
It's like notification, you get the notification.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm gonna check my stats really quick, and then you log in and you see like somebody calling you an idiot. It's like, fuck.
Our brain is like wired to think. We have like 90 positive comments, but that one negative comment, it pops out and just looks.
And with short form, man, it's just like, I know before I make a video that if I say something in the first 5 seconds that's going to trigger somebody, the video is going to get comments and I'm going to get views. Right. And when I get views, I get followers. Regardless of it's like a positive or negative comments. Like all the comments could be people hating me, but the video still gets views and still gets followers. Like, so it's like, it's hard to, it's like we're grooming a world of divisive people, and that's just the way it is. Like, I don't believe in, I'm not trying to change culture, but like, if that's how it works, I'm going to exploit the shit out of it. So it's like, so the hate does come with it, and you just got to have tough skin. But that's not saying it doesn't bother me. Like, it bothers everybody. Like, I've never talked to a content creator that was getting a lot of views that got hate, that it didn't bother. It doesn't matter if you get 55 positive comments. They're going to see that one.
Right. That's
Like,
sometimes like you are like, you can avoid it, but sometimes it happens that it just
gets you. Yeah, it just
gets
stings.
you.
It wakes you up. It pokes you, like when you're not paying attention.
Makes us feel human again.
Right.
That's awesome. I think if we carry on, we can talk hours and hours about this. Bhai has a lot of information about it, but if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. We'll try to do one more podcast maybe in the future. I'll stay in contact with you.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Giving your time. All the way from America, he came here yesterday. Only 30 hours of flight.
About that, yeah, 27 or 28 hours.
Still jet lagged?
I think I'm good now. I don't know. I get fired up on podcasts.
Yeah. Now you.
I worked out today and I did a podcast, so like I think I'm good coming in to talk tomorrow. So
We'll meet again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bro.